Hey guys, Ben from KCT here. So I'll make this one real quick, but I wanted to kind of bring something up that's been on my mind as I kind of go through a kind of journey of transformation of not drinking and sort of trying to make my life meaningful, make something of my life. Um, Everybody has cringe in their past. Something you think about and you're just like, oh god, it's like biting down on tinfoil. And I'm probably one of the cringiest people on the planet. So um, I have a lot of that. So um, the biggest thing I think, as far as dealing with it goes, is living well today. You can't go back to change the past. It doesn't matter how much time you spend on it, or how much just sleep you lose over it, or how much shoulder hunching you got to do over it. It is what it is. And it's that way for a reason. If we could go back and change the past, I mean, boy, think about what the things would happen nowadays. You just make things up as you go along, and expect people to. Sorry, we're getting political. So, what I want to say though is, a wise man once said, or perhaps a woman, I don't remember, but if you want to plant a tree that grows to be 100 feet tall, the best time to have done it was 30 years ago. The second best time is now. And that's really profound to me in the sense that you cannot, if you didn't do it in the past, if you didn't fix it, it's not going to be here now. So if you've been dealing with your life and all those moments that just make you just um you can't, you're not gonna be able to fix that if you haven't already fixed it in the past. So what do I mean by fixing it now and planting that tree now? Well, what I mean is the better you live now, the easier those moments are to swallow. They're never going to not taste bad. You're never going to look at something where you said something just asinine to somebody, or it came out wrong and you didn't know how to fix it. That's always going to taste like shit. It's going to. Okay, just deal with it. But it is not as bad tasting, if you will, if you are living well today. Now, at first I thought, well, if you're doing something like that, then the difference between how you're living now, okay, and then that time is going to make that moment feel cringier, right? So if you're successful now, if you have money now, if you have a family, if you've achieved some of your life goals, you're going to look back all those times when you screwed up, and and there's going to be a bigger difference between how you are now and how it was then. In reality, though, what happens is, I think living well is the best revenge, just like the quote I would go with on that, is if you're living well and you're accepting of yourself, who you are and who you were, it's much easier to look back and go, yeah, man, that sucks. I did say the wrong thing to a friend, or I said something and somebody brought it up years later, and so I knew it meant something bad to them, and I didn't intend it that way, and I didn't have the balls to fix it at the time. Well, you're never going to get away from that. That's always going to be how it was. You can't go back and rewrite history and say that you went back and fixed it. But when you look at this and say, you know what, I'm a secure person in myself. If that's a big issue for whoever that was, maybe they could talk about it. But when you start caring about yourself, when you actually start practicing self care, when you start doing things the right way, all of a sudden this gets a lot easier. In the sense that you don't drag all that horrible feeling into today. You look at it and say, yeah, it sucks. But what can I do about it? And if you live in a shitty life and you haven't achieved any of your goals, if you haven't achieved anything that you want to do, well, guess what? The distance between that crappy moment and now is really short. You know what I mean? So if you're in the same mud pit you were in your 40s as you were in your 20s and 30s, and you're still spinning your tires, you're kicking up the same mud. So if you've gotten out of that mud pit and you've gone and driven off success, I don't know why I'm making car references, but if you've done that, you can look in your rearview mirror and say, yeah, that puddle's always going to be behind me. Those bad things are always going to be behind me. I cannot fix that I was in that mud puddle. I was wallowing in it for 10, 20 years, however long it is. But now I'm on a path that is better. And so it trust me that those things look better in the rear view than they do when you're in them. And if you cannot deal with the cringe and the things that you've done in the past, you're going to be in them. There's no two ways about it. It's going to eat you up every single day. Something that you did wrong is going to come up every single day, and it's going to be something you can't get rid of. It's going to be in your head all the freaking time. So, guys, think about it. Think about what you can change today, because you can't change the past. But if you become a better person now, the person that you were back then, it becomes a smaller thing. It becomes easier to deal with, I think. So, guys, that's just a real quick one here. What's kind of caused me to do this is, I thought about my life recently, and if I died, what would my thought be? If somebody said, "Hey, Ben, you're dead. What do you think about your life?" And the answer I kept coming to was, it was a good life, but I wish I did more with it. Okay? So, here we go, So this is one of the reasons why I'm doing some stuff like this. If there's people if you're out there, and you got some questions, or you feel something, put something in the comments. Let's start a discussion, dialogue. I don't expect anybody to see this video right now because the channel is so small, but down the road, hopefully people will see it and see kind of where I'm going mentally, where I'm going maybe physically with my, not drinking and things like that, dealing with my addictions, and all that crap. So, but anyways, guys, I'm starting to ramble here, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut this one off. But yeah, guys, think about that. Think about being a better person today, because that's the one thing that's gonna fix yesterday. Peace.